Rahman Rahim.
In very most merciful, most compassionate.
Thank you, Dr. Chipman, and thank you, Sir John Jenkins, for another successful, fruitful Manama dialogue. And we always learn a lot from the dialogue since it started with us here in Bahrain, and we will continue to do so for the years to come. And I would like also to thank everybody who did tireless efforts to put this together in organizing it, from the team of the IISS, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and other entities and agencies here in Bahrain. And I'm very happy to be with you, Your Excellency, the Vice President of Iraq, Mr. Iyad Allawi, and my colleague and dear friend, Mr. Sameh Shukri, the Foreign Minister of Egypt, talking about regional powers and the Middle East stability. But before that, I'll just talk briefly about the summit, the GCC summit that happened 2 days ago here in Bahrain, which is a very important event that happens every year that brings us together in our path of working together to stabilize and help the region and make sure that we're doing our part as a bastion of stability here. It was the 37th GCC summit that had some important outcomes. One is the GCC Economic Development Affairs Authority. This one will bring all our efforts for economic integration in the GCC under one umbrella, and within a decade would lead to a one common market. And the other one is commitment to building big transportation links, be it bridges, be it railways, infrastructure between all our GCC countries to make it easy to travel and transfer. Of course, our security relation and defense relations are paramount to our stability here. So that was reiterated in the declaration and in the outcomes of the summit, and also in the Arab Gulf Security 1 training exercise that was done by the police of the Gulfs here in Bahrain to deter threats that could come from terror or terrorist cells. This is one, and then the other summit was the GCC UK summit. We were privileged to host the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Mrs. Theresa May, of a first of its kind summit with the GCC. And we'll never, forget the words that was said by the Prime Minister, was that the commitment to the Gulf and her desire to build a relationship that was not merely transactional, but a true partnership built on 200 years of friendship. Yes, that is 200 years of friendship, of prosperity together. It's a relationship that was built on peace and the desire for peace and stability. And that's why it lasted for 200 years and will stay more for years to come. And we look forward to continue to work in the GCC with the United Kingdom for securing and ensuring the stability and security of the Gulf, and also for our common prosperity and trade. Now we come to our subject. When we come to talk about regional powers in the Middle East today, we'll have to see a little picture of the past. A couple of decades ago, there were the old Arab order. And as Sameh Shukri, you mentioned about things happening and working under the Arab League and how it should work. But it used to be in a way that there were important countries that used to really be the focal points of the order of the region. It was Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Syria, and Iraq. But where is Iraq today? Iraq went through difficult times of tyranny, Iraq is one of the most important Arab countries that stepped forward towards modernity in our time. It had the first modern constitution of 1925 that is still, if it's read today, would be looked at as a modern constitution that would work for today's time. Today, Iraq, after years of tyranny, in the time of Saddam Hussein, and after occupation, and then what do we have now? We have foreign influence taking hold of the capital and of the rest of the country. We have Daesh, a terrorist organization occupying a third of the country and the second most important city. And we have separatist ideas here and there, and we have difficult time, and we have uncertainty for the people of Iraq. And that's why Iraq, as His Excellency the Vice President said clearly, need to be helped and need to be saved. Iraq is an important founder of the Arab League. It's an Arab country, and it's our responsibility to stand with Iraq in this matter, and we will continue to do so. The other one, what about Syria? We have, what can we talk about? Halab today? The presence of Hezbollah, the presence of Daesh, the weakening of the state, the displacements of millions of people, almost half of the population, either internally or externally around the world, with our countries facing the problem of integrating them into our countries and helping them. The only thing we have today for Syria is one thing, Geneva 1. And a very able Arab journalist asked me a couple of days ago in the GCC summit, and she said, do you have anything else other than the Geneva 1 declaration? But that's the only principle we have. That's why we need to work hard and do something for Syria. Now, of course, we talk about, it's not only Arab countries here in the region, we have also other countries. We have Turkey. Turkey has always succeeded in the last decade or more in becoming an economic success story that built bridges and reached out to the region and forged important trade links. And this is very important as a path toward moving forward, and we welcome that. But definitely the problem in Syria has hindered, because it's right at its border, and has hindered its ability to continue smoothly with its economic building of its country. The other one we have is Iran. And what can we say about Iran? Iran used to be also, again, a bastion of stability, a bastion of security. Yes, they used to claim our country in Bahrain here back in a few decades ago, but they came to their senses and recognized our country and became an important ally of us. Less than a decade later, the revolution takes place in the country, and the whole scene changes with Iran. And what do we have today? We have a country that is systematically sought to use every conflict here in the region to its advantage. It has built over the years proxy armies, including Hezbollah in Lebanon, and affiliates in Syria and Iraq, and cells all over the region. It has backed the Houthi rebels in Yemen that are undermining the legitimate government of Yemen and making the life difficult for the people of Yemen. And of course, let alone trying to destabilize our country here in Bahrain or our neighbors in Saudi Arabia or anywhere in the region. And that all happens under its commitment to the doctrine of Wilayat al-Faqih. Wilayat al-Faqih, this doctrine, goes beyond the borders of Iran. It goes contrary to international law and covenants and declarations. It considers people who happen to be of the Shia sect as subjects of the supreme leader rather than proud citizens of their own countries. every country here in the region. And this is something that is driving Iran in its way and in its way to become a regional power. If that will continue, if Iran remains on that path, it will be impossible to build any good relations or to accept Iran as a partner for the future in the region. We will continue to face this policy as long as we can, because if it takes hold, we will not have prosperity in the region. We will only go back to the dark ages. So this is what we are committed to. Now this is yesterday and today. So what do we look for tomorrow? If we would want to go on a path of recovery, of help, of commitment to our region, we should work tirelessly and not allow any fatigue to take hold of our destiny. If we allow that, then we are committing a mistake towards our future and our people. We should work tirelessly to save our region from what happened. And I definitely agree with my brother, Mr. Sameh Shukri, that the Arab League, and of course His Excellency the Vice President, Mr. Iyad Allawi, mentioned also the Arab League when it comes to be the umbrella of recovery. The Iraqi people, and I was there, Mr. Vice President, in Cairo, for the meeting of all the Iraqis when they came to meet. But nothing continued and nothing happened. I was there with my brother Hoshyar Zibari in one of the meetings of the neighbors of Iraq, or two. And we know that was a path, also an effort, because there was still, an Arab League to reckon with. But then after that period, where's the Arab League? We have our new Secretary General here, and we congratulate him, and we know it's not an easy task. But sir, you have the most important umbrella of recovery here in the region, and we are there to help you. That also that would mean who would be there in that group to save our area. Here I'm mainly talking about Saudi Arabia and the GCC, Egypt, Jordan, and if our neighbor Turkey, with its capability and its proximity to our region, could help in coming together in forging this group of saving our area. Is this group, will it remain closed? No. If Iran would want to choose to be part of this group, they will have to abandon all the policies and all the mischief that they are doing that I have mentioned earlier in my speech. We've always wanted Iran to be part of the club here and part of the group to move forward. Iran is a very proud nation, in its own right. It has its own civilization, it has its own aspiring population, and they have their aspirations. But we don't want Iran to take the wrong direction and end up taking us and the whole region in the wrong direction. What we are doing for ourselves is also good for Iran, and not only for ourselves. So we want to get everybody to be on board. The GCC is not only prepared to play a major role in ensuring regional security, it's very clear that we are, in fact, taking the leading role in the region now. In doing so, in Syria, of course, in the alliance to save Yemen and support the legitimate government of Yemen and the people of Yemen. This is our responsibility as Secretary Ash Carter, that we can help, but only you can ensure your stability. We heard it from him this morning, and this is true, and we will continue to do so. But what will that path of recovery or to stability ensure? First, we have to fight the terrorist groups and the militias from any side, whether they are state-sponsored or free criminal terrorists like Daesh and others who are roaming in our lands here. And in order to defeat the terrorists, we have to make sure who takes control of the territory they hold today. And only legitimate governments of a country that would reach a political agreement for all will be able to take control of those lands. Otherwise, we're only replacing the terrorists with another group that in one eye could be freedom fighters and another eye could be a terrorist. So we just continue with the same path. So a political solution for the region is very, very important. Rebuilding. We need and we will continue to help and do our part in the GCC with our brothers in rebuilding the countries after the ravages of war and instability. For that, if we reach that and we get under the umbrella of the Arab League a stronger order that can move forward energetically, forcefully, we can reach a very good security architecture for the region. We've always proposed security architectures for the region that would include everybody, that excludes no country in the Middle East from coming in together. That architecture can manage the peace process between the Palestinians and the Israelis and the Arab countries. We have an initiative, don't we? And that can be managed. The issues of water, the issues of fighting, continuing to stand and fight against terror. It will only make us a strong partner to the rest of the world community as a region. But the nucleus are the countries that I have mentioned. I don't want to take long, but let me just quote at the end of this speech something from the Sahir Declaration of the GCC Summit 2 days ago. It says, "We will strengthen the strategic partnership with our allies and international partners and international and regional organizations to deepen the GCC's role as an active international partner and a pillar of peace and security in the world." These are the words of the GCC, and this is our commitment. Thank you very much.